morning, boys and girls, mummies and daddies, and all those who are on the virtual platform this morning. My story this morning is entitled Kwame and the Crocodile. Yes, let me hasten to tell you that this story is about a boy who attended school in a village in Africa. Wow, if I said how many people, if I asked how many people have been to Africa, I may not hear anybody saying, yes, I have been. But you would know of Africa, you would have seen stuff, and we know of Emancipation Day that celebrates our Africanness and so on. Now, Kwame attended a school like yours, a Christian school and so on. But you know something? The difference was that it was on a river bank, but it was far from the river itself. It was fenced around to keep the children safe. And guess what was a very important rule in that school? Do not go to the riverbank. Now there was a gate that was usually locked that would lead to the riverbank and then to the river. But one day, Kwame, they were playing in the schoolyard and you know it was hot. And then a little voice whispered to one of them, you know what? Let us see if we could open the padlock and open the gate and go in the river and swim. So they looked around. And they didn't see anybody. The guard probably just went to the front. And you know what they did? They opened the padlock quickly and they opened the gate. And they went on the riverbank. They took off their clothes and soon they were in the water swimming and splashing and having a good time. They were swimming to the middle of the river and coming back. And they did this before the bell rang. But one boy, Kwame, he thought he was a better swimmer, so he went a little further. And when all the others made it safely back to the bank, he, Kwame, still had to come back some distance to be on the bank. So he was swimming and swimming and swimming, and midway between the bank and the river, all of a sudden the boy saw this dark shape coming behind Kwame. Guess what it was? Yes, a crocodile. And they started to say, Kwame, shout, Kwame, 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 a crocodile is behind you, swim fast. Now, Kwame thought he could swim faster than a crocodile, is that so? So he was swimming and beating up his arms and his legs and swimming, and he was almost there when, guess what? He felt the powerful jaws of the crocodile clamped down on his legs and started to pull him. In the meantime, the boys started to shout and they ran through the gate and they ran to the front to the principal's office. And they said, sir, a crocodile's got Kwame. And the principal jumped up quickly and they said, sir, we have to go and look. Now, Kwame, at this time, he was being taken by the crocodile. He felt the water, he felt himself going down, the foot was paining him. And he started to pray. He said, dear Jesus, please don't let this crocodile eat me. Please don't let the crocodile eat me. The crocodile dragged him onto the bank of the river and started to dig dirt with its snout and covered him up. Now that's the practice of crocodiles. They don't usually eat their prey right away. And just how sometimes mummies leave meat to season, well, maybe the crocodile did that. So he covered up Kwame with the dirt and so on. And what was happening on the other side? The principal and two teachers and the boys, they got a long stick and they were beating the bulrushes and the grasses and calling, Kwame, Kwame, Kwame. Kwame was so weak he couldn't answer. He kept praying. He said, Lord, don't let the crocodile come back to kill me. Please, Lord, don't let the crocodile eat me. And so, you know what? They came and they found Kwame. He heard them shouting, he couldn't answer. And quickly, they grabbed him up and they took him to the hospital. You know what, boys and girls? Kwame lost his leg. So, boys and girls, Kwame is a grown man today. He has a wooden leg to help him. And you know what he said? He said, tell all boys and girls to obey is better than to sacrifice. We must obey our teachers, obey all the rules of the school, obey our parents, and most of all, obey God.